Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a video that I'm going to title Over or Underrated, or something of that nature. What we're doing today is the video I was talking about on Monday, and that's me going on Twitter and reacting to players that you guys are sending me, saying basically just my opinions on them. Still have yet to record the fantasy take video, so if you guys want to hop in there, feel free to. And as always, before we jump into today's video, we gotta run through the plugs. So don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel, Waggle, or Prize Picks. By using my codes on G Fuel or Waggle, you'll save a discount on any of their awesome products, and by using it at sign up on Prize Picks, you're guaranteeing yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But remember, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, folks, so here we are at the tweet. There's my handle for anybody who is new here and wants to participate in future Twitter videos. I do these quite often. And let's dig into this. I should also point out I said any sport. So weirdly, I'm actually going to start off with an NBA one here from James Bartik. He says Bronny James is massively overrated. Now, I guess first I'll respond to what you're saying. I'll give my thoughts on it, and I have to agree. He was obviously drafted because of his dad. His college stats were really nothing, and even when you look at his games this year, even though he did have some good performances, still had a horrible shooting percentage, and people have every right to be skeptical of him. However, I will say right now, I am a fan, I am a supporter of Bronny James, probably one of his biggest. Sure, he chose to declare for the draft, but he didn't choose to be picked by them. Obviously, I think everyone kind of knew, but you can't be mad at him for getting into the league and getting a chance, and people that want him to fail because his dad is LeBron or because they think that he walked into the league, you're weird. He has the entire world watching his every move. With the kind of pressure he has with his name especially, I can only hope for the best for him. Next one from Ben Gilbert here. He says CJ Stroud. Now, I know we've recently talked about him, but a lot of people have commented this, so I will address it. As of now, I actually think the guy is underrated. I really do. Just the constant noise of people viewing him as a lesser version of himself from his rookie season, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think he's the same exact quarterback. And that quarterback, by the way, was an animal. Even though I do think, everybody has the right to have high expectations for CJ, you can't expect perfection. Nobody's perfect. Well, besides Sophia Cunningham, but that's it. Others says Jalen Ramsey underrated because people are treating him like he's an old man who's going to be in a retirement home soon. And even though I know that I am an age criticizer, he's still a really good player, man. Last year, he might have not made the Pro Bowl, which doesn't even matter in today's day. But statistically, last season, he was just about as good as he was for several of his other Pro Bowl seasons. He's disruptive. He's sticky. I think he's still one of the best cornerbacks in football. Cody James Buckmeyer, you son of a gun. Saying the name that so many are afraid to say, but so many wonder. Mike Trout. Now, while I do still think Trout, even though he's not batting nearly as good as he usually does, he's still one of the best players in baseball. In healthy, Mike Trout has always been one of the best players in baseball. But having him in the same sentence as the greatest of all time, which was a serious thing for a bit, it's kind of faded out now, is ridiculous. In that sense, he's overrated because he has not played nearly enough to be considered the greatest baseball player of all time. If he plays over 100 games this year, that will be just the second time he has done that in the last 6 seasons. Now, did he have like an 8-year prime? 100% he did. But you cannot call someone the GOAT when at the end of their career for more than half of their seasons, they were gone for half the time. Which I know isn't the case yet, but I have a feeling that it's going to be that way. Ian Sally says Jerry Jeudy underrated. He was really good last year. Career high in yardage, career high in receptions, career high in success rate. Is he a bust for when he was drafted and the team he was drafted for? Sure. Doesn't mean he can't be a good player now. Alan Salinas, I think he's meaning to say Alexander Ovechkin here. Look, I know I'm not a hockey guy, but the little bit I do know is that guy is the GOAT. He is the definition of a goon in the best way possible. Here's a good one for the wrestling fans. Craig Draw says Joe Hendry. I'll get ripped for this one, dude. He is massively overrated. Have you seen his in-ring ability? He's terrible. His moveset is the default create a wrestler moveset from WWE 2K. He's got all the charisma in the world, but he's not at all a good in-ring performer. Wes says Anthony Volpe overrated. He's an error machine. He leads the American League in errors. He's also batting like a 210 right now. He's just not playing good. Cards are back says Luka Doncic. I hate this this one because he's not overrated, he's not underrated. He's right where he needs to be, and that's recognized as one of the best players in basketball, but I also just think he's incredibly unlikable. I think he is such a crybaby. I think it's his way or the highway. I think he could show a lot more effort when it comes to playing defense, and that stupid, arrogant smirk he always has on his face. I loved it when they played the Wolves in the playoffs because he had it the whole series, like they were gonna come back and do something, and we smoked them. Ari says Cooper DeJean. I don't really have much of an opinion on him. I don't think he's over or underrated either. I think it's kind of hard to call him either of those. For one, when he's only been in the league for as long as he has, but for two, when he's been as good as he has been. You know, I think everybody just kind of views him as a really, really good player at this point. Wasn't he like a finalist in Rookie of the Year voting, like top 5? Sean Patterson says Kyle Hamilton. Listen here, we don't mention Kyle Hamilton in the state of Minnesota, okay? I'm gonna talk about this one time and I'm not gonna talk about it again. Kyle Hamilton's one of the best safeties in the league. I love Kyle Hamilton. But the fact that Kwesi decided to not pick him and then trade down and draft Lewis Cine still makes me ill. It makes me sick. Kwesi has been a phenomenal GM, one of the best GMs in football as of late, but that one move, that one decision, which I believe also gave Jameson Williams to the Detroit Lions, had people wanting his head on a stick for the longest time. Just gotta keep thinking to myself, what could have been? Jetsky here says D-Jack, Deshaun Jackson. That's a name I haven't heard in a couple years now. I don't really think he's over or underrated, but he was the once in a blue moon fantasy nightmare. Every year when Deshaun Jackson was still in the league that I played fantasy, it seemed like there was a couple people that would fall under the category of needing an emergency flex. Well, Deshaun Jackson was often always the first one on the waiver wire, and it was literally like flipping a coin to see if he was gonna do anything or not. He would either get 1 reception for 12 yards or 4 receptions for 128 and a touchdown. There was no in between with that guy. Moving on, next we have Aiden. Do I say it Win or is it Nigan? Either way, he says Austin Reeves, overrated. Yes, I mean that. I think he's a decent player, but treating him like he's on the same level as LeBron and Luka, acting like that's some invincible 3-headed dragon, you're out of your mind. Did you see how he played in the playoffs? Team needed him most, and he was not there. Angelo says Jason Tatum. Fantastic player, just one of the corniest human beings on the planet. He just likes attention. He loves attention. Posting his text to Kobe, like it's one thing to do it, another thing to show it. You're weird for that. The obviously cringy, corny, rehearsed, we did it, Kevin Garnett copycat after the Celtics won the championship. That was awful. Like, he just reminds me so much of a high school basketball player, mentality-wise. Tommy Cole says Romo Dunze. I don't know what to really say about him. I think that can be a good player, but last year he was not very impressive. That'd probably just be the best way to put it. Samurai Plays says Trae Young. To me, he is the most underrated point guard in the NBA. Well, he is also probably the worst defender in the NBA. JJ says, I'll give you 3. First, we got Cooper Kupp. I think he's just right now. I think he was overrated into last season, but now people's expectations with him have kind of dropped. 2, he says Matt Milano. Obviously, I think he's underrated. He's literally one of the best and most impactful linebackers in the entire league. And 3, Jaden Reed. I think he's about good too. He was a little overrated going into last season, and I helped contribute to that. But I think they understand what they have with Jaden Reed. And that's a good receiver, but not your number 1. Shots Prod says, thoughts on Xavier Worthy. He's not overrated. He's not underrated. He's not a bad player. I wanted him to be bad, not only because he went to the Chiefs, but I was also just under the assumption that he was literally going to be a John Ross. He's fine. Like, he could be really good for all we know, but last year, he did what was asked of him. James says Tim Tebow, year 1 and 2. Dude, Tim Tebow was never good. He was the most inaccurate, cringy, one-trick pony I think I've ever seen in the NFL. Jay says Darnell Mooney. He is underrated. I still underrate Darnell Mooney. Matter of fact, I think last year was probably the best year he ever had. He's an excellent compliment to Drake London. And Kevin the Lone Wolf says Tyreek Hill or Cheetah. Honestly, I think he's underrated as of right now. People are really writing him off, and I don't think that's necessarily fair to do just yet. But at the same time, he is getting old, and people do have a right to be skeptical on that. Now we got Bo Nix. This one is weird because I'm really in the middle. I see both sides of seeing that he's overrated and seeing that he's underrated. I think this year is going to be the most telling for it, you know, just to see if we can see him play really good again. Hopefully make some improvements with getting the ball downfield a little bit further. So right now, I don't think anybody's really wrong for saying over or underrated, but I do think you are wrong if you refer to Bo Nix as bad. That is flat out incorrect. And that is actually gonna do it for today's video, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't get to the YouTube comments. I just had almost 1,000 to go through on here, so it was a lot. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, as always, you know what to do. Please show support, because you know I appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Not sure what day you're gonna get it on. This is a pre-record, but that doesn't change the fact that I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next upload.